This case of D446900, Feindel versus Feindel. Council appearance for the record.
Good morning, Your Honor. Shelley Lubritz, 5410, on behalf of Timothy Feindel, who's present.
Good morning, Your Honor. Leslie Cohen, bar number 660, back for the defendant, Eddie Feindel, who is also present.
All right. For the record, I received, apparently, I received it. I've received and keyword being perused. I have not read in detail a reply from Ms. Lubritz. I don't know if it's actually been e-filed yet or not.
It has, Judge, and WisNet was sent to the court as well as to Ms. Cohen.
As you can see, staff just walked in and handed apparently a supplemental affidavit. Have you received that from the defendant?
Yesterday, I believe, from them. Would it please the court, do you want to bump this perhaps a week and just keep everything status quo, or are you prepared for argument?
Well, my preference is to get them moving, obviously, and I believe it was brought up by Ms. Cohen or Mr. Minigill, or who's Mr. Vericchio? Is he with the firm as well?
No, he's former counsel. I substituted in for him last week. I just got the file on Thursday, which is why the affidavit was sent to you at the time it was sent to you. And, Your Honor, frankly, all that affidavit is just reiterating some things that I think Mr. Vericchio covered all of them. I just didn't think I thought they were kind of buried in affidavits, and I just wanted to put them front and center for you and say, these are the main issues we're concerned with, these are the things we want you to know that are most important.
And
Right.
if the court pleases, Tuesday I had a fever of almost 101. I went to the doctor. I was prescribed antibiotics. I didn't start feeling really crummy until Thursday, which is when the reply would have been due under the 5 days prior to the hearing. So again, I do apologize to the court, but I have a doctor's note if you want.
Just don't get us sick and you won't have to apologize,
Yeah,
all right? That's all I care about.
I know. Since the radiation, my defenses are lower, so I get sick more easily.
Mr. Vericchio at least brought it up. I mean, my likely is to follow the regular course, send them to FMC, see if they can formulate their own parenting agreement. I guess the issue is what is going to happen in the interim.
And respectfully, Judge, Mr. Vericchio did bring it up. The problem is that Mr. Vericchio, myself, and the two parties sat down for a multi-hour settlement before motions were ever filed. We reached an agreement. They wouldn't reduce it to writing. Mom breached it the very next day. I can tell you that they are very polarized in their beliefs, and I do think that FMC is going to be futile, but certainly...
Well, let's start with, listen, first of all, we have a 9-month strike. You work full-time? What hours do you work?
I work Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. And just, to keep everything straight, throughout this child's life since she was 2 weeks old.
Judge, I'm going to object.
Hold on. Who's watching the baby while she's at work?
She and her family. She works at her
No.
parents'
Why
home.
can't Dad watch the baby while she's at work?
Why is Dad's older child in daycare?
She's not.
Before and after school.
Listen,
instead
I
of
am
Dad
not
watching
placing
her?
a child in daycare or with other family members.
She's with Mom. It's Mom's parents' house.
She's working.
She takes a nine-month...
Since the child was 2 weeks old. Put
Okay.
her under oath since the child was 2 weeks old.
Tell me how I can deprive a natural father of contact, at least right now, why she works to give preference to her family members versus the natural child, natural
It's not
father.
her family members. It's her with the assistance of her family members. This is what they've done. And
That's my question. She takes the baby to work with her?
Yes. Since this child was 2 weeks old, every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, and recently, right before they separated, it was every day because Dad was so drugged up that in the morning from his prescription drugs and alcohol, he couldn't wake up.
Judge, it's
So
simply
she's actually
untrue.
Hold on, Miss Lubritz.
She's
Hold on.
actually taken this child to work some weeks, every day of the week. It's out of her parents' home. The child has her own bedroom there. If Mom's just working, the child's there in her playpen and doing what babies do. If Mom has a meeting or something, the family helps take care of the child. But this is what they've done since this child was 2 weeks old.
And I do stand by the contention that Dad's older child goes to before and after school care, even though he doesn't work.
Let's assume your allegations are correct. You wanted, or at least Mr. Vericchio, again, I just perused the substance of your affidavit, that he should undergo an examination regarding his medications, et cetera, et cetera. She's going to pay for that right now?
What we would like to see is a custodial evaluation, PhD level. We believe that
She's got the only income. She understands that she's going to have to pay for that.
See, I don't understand that because I just got the FDF. I mean, literally just got the FDF. According to the FDF, the man's expenses are, what did he say, 42?
But discover it. I don't know. All right.
He says his expenses are $42.11 per month. She's never earned enough. So he's got money coming in from somewhere.
Find out about it. Maybe he's borrowing from family members like a lot of people are doing nowadays.
Maybe he could borrow a little to at least pay a little of the evaluation.
For right now, if she's asking for it, she'll pay it subject to reimbursement.
Well, that's fine, but he has also asked for a psych eval on her.
It's a PhD. If a PhD thinks that a psych eval is necessary, they'll administer it to him. That's part of the custody evals.
That's fine, but he raised it first. He should help pay those expenses.
And again, given the financial, you have every right to conduct discovery into his income. You're saying he doesn't. When's the last time that she knows he's worked?
2009. Except
Right.
supposedly he's got this side business.
That's what discovery's about. All right, you're asking for the custody eval.
Well, they asked for a psych eval, but we're saying let's just do a custody
You want the custody eval, knowing she's going to pay for it, subject to reimbursement.
That's fine.
That's a yes.
Yes, we stipulate that.
PhD level, apparently.
Yes.
The only person with whom I have a conflict is Gary Lenkite.
All right, he probably wasn't next in line anyway. If I'm looking at PhDs, I have a note on, and he's next in line anyway,
Who was judge?
a Donald Johnson.
Okay.
One of my very, very contentious cases. In fact, one of my most litigious cases since I've taken the bench. That total charge said and done was approximately $2,700, and that's for PhD level, so it could be fairly reasonable.
And the court was pleased with, I don't know the gentleman, but if
Yes.
the court has confidence, then certainly that'd be great.
He has a PhD and an LMFT.
Okay? And clearly, Judge, we agree that if mom's working, she can't be watching the child, and while dad's at home, certainly the child should be with him.
Okay, we're back to, she claims she works out of the home, doesn't leave the home.
No, she works at her parents' home.
What's happened since the child is 2 weeks old, mom goes to work, takes the
listen.
child with her.
What is your, I don't want to violate any HIPAA. Who do we have in the back here if I ask him what medications he's on, if any?
That's no problem at all.
Is this person with him?
No,
No.
my client's brother.
So, yeah, if the court would just seal the hearing and ask the gentleman.
You guys have to do a written request for the sealing. I mean, that's under the,
Right, but we
Luke
could ask
case.
for a closed hearing.
yeah, go ahead. All right.
Thank you. And then Mom can also list the medications that she takes as well, including those that are not prescribed to her.
Sir, current medications prescribed by a doctor?
Currently Adderall at a rate of 30 milligrams per day
For
attention deficit disorder. Also guanfacine for the same. That's, I believe, a half milligram a day. It's a high blood pressure med. It's just it's a different label for the ADD.
Okay.
I have a prescription for Xanax. I haven't taken that in about a week. That's basically for as needed due to anxiety. And
I used to take Ambien, but there's another drug that you take.
She wrote that she was concerned about Ambien in that she was worried I wouldn't get up with the baby. What I've done is switch to a shorter half-life sleeping med. It's Sonata, I believe. It has a 30-minute to a 1 hour half-life. These are all prescribed. I was on these prior to the marriage.
And so the court knows he's never been arrested for being under the influence of any medications. He's never been arrested.
I ran scope on both of them. Defendant has none. He has none either.
I'm sorry, Judge?
He has no criminal
And
scope.
he also has never had a difficulty getting up with the child. In fact, for weeks and weeks, he would be getting up in the middle of the night while Mom slept because the child wasn't colicky, but she had some, was it gas issues or just didn't want to sleep issues?
Gassing just to wake most of the night. It's a newborn thing.
And we dispute that Dad doesn't have trouble waking up. Or that he doesn't.
Okay, here's the problem. What I'm going to order in the interim is he can have the child Monday through Friday, 8 to 4. And so there's not going to be an issue of sleeping during that time.
How can he look for a job if he's
This
got
is a
baby?
temporary order.
How is he going? He has to find a job. How is he going to look for a job if he's taking care of a baby from 8 to 4?
Do you want to give him half the time the other? You propose to me what other times then?
Keep the schedule.
I'm not going to do that, Ms. Cohn.
Done.
8 to 4, it's on a temporary basis. Are you temporarily disabled from a medical doctor right now?
Disabled? No.
The last time you worked was 2009?
That is correct.
So we'll deal with that on the return.
Well, I guess I don't understand. So
What part don't you understand?
8 to 4, the baby's going to be with Dad, even
Correct.
though she's always been with Mom.
Right.
Monday, Wednesday, Friday.
Okay.
Dad doesn't deny that.
Okay.
As far as I know, Dad doesn't deny that. He didn't deny that in his pleadings. Baby always goes to work with Mom.
I'm placing the baby with the natural. I'm not concerned. If you want a drug test just to affirm, I'll send him out today. And once I receive the results, I'll get him back by tomorrow. I have nothing to be concerned about with Adderall, and even assuming he's taking Xanax.
What about the earmuffs that he wears because the loud
He doesn't
noise of
wear
the baby?
Call Child Protective Services, Ms. Cohn. You guys want that number? It's 399-0081. Okay?
Why? Okay, how is he going to look for a job if he's got a baby?
Apparently hasn't worked since 2009. We'll be back and we'll see what the custody eval has to say first. Okay?
And what's Mom's time with the child?
The rest of the time.
Now, Judge, my client is a practicing Catholic. She is not. She doesn't practice any religion. He has historically taken the child to church. What I'd ask is that Mom be given Friday at 4 until Sunday at 8 or 9 so that Dad can attend church with the child on Sundays, or at least that we alternate the weekends. He's a very devout man.
When's, let's say the last month or so, has he taken the child to church?
Every Sunday.
Okay.
He wouldn't let Mom take the child to church.
Since this child was born.
He can continue, Ms. Luberts, to take the child to church and then return the child. These are temporary orders.
Sure, and the only other thing I would ask is that, well, it really won't matter because Emily's at home during the summer, right? Because there's an older sister, and we have always used Sunday, the full day, for the three of them to spend together as a family. What block on Sundays may he have?
The
When
four
is
of them spent time together as
When is church?
She goes with her mom?
I'm
Sunday.
going to talk to the judge.
It can be, there's Mass at 8 a.m., 9:30, and noon.
And for the record, Emily spends Sunday with her mother.
That's fine. Give me a 4-hour block that you'd like on Sunday.
Emily's actually in Nantucket right now.
4-hour block.
4 o'clock on Sunday. Let's go 8 to noon.
Okay.
And will receiving party pick up, Judge?
On Sundays, he's going to do both.
Okay,
On the other, receiving party will.
great.
So are we doing the drug test or not, Ms. Cohn? It's going to be $140.
Okay, that's fine, we'll do the drug test.
All right.
Is it gonna include hair?
It does include hair. It's going to go back a couple months.
Okay.
Sir, do you have your prescriptions with you?
I do not.
That's fine. You just need to notify them of what you're taking. Fill out their sheet. It's going to go back a couple of months. Is there any illegal substances that anything this court should be concerned about?
No.
Your Honor, can we get a HIPAA sign so that we can talk to his doctors about his prescriptions?
Listen, if we're doing a custody eval, I'll sign it for the PhD. In fact, I'll put it on there.
Right. But they not to be released. It's
No.
for the review of the PhD and in-camera inspection by the court. Perfect.
That goes both ways.
That's fine.
You want the, wait, do you want the, oh, so under this order, Dad will have 0 overnights with the child right
That
now?
goes put it in minutes. I'm not going to modify this.
They could sign a HIPAA release for the PhD.
Both parties are to sign HIPAAs for the release for the doctor to obtain any records.
Judge, if I may, under the current provision or temporary schedule, my client has no overnights with the child.
That's correct.
Very well.
Just again, he's not going to be prejudiced by that.
I understand.
And if you need me to designate it, technically I would consider that temporary joint physical custody,
Very well.
given the amount of time he's having with the child during the week. There's the drug string, Madam Clerk.
And while the court is designated that joint physical custody, will the court be addressing child support and
I'm not. I'm going to, because I just received your paperwork, we'll be back in. I'm just going to order you continue paying whatever household obligations you have been paying. I will defer on any issues, most likely on attorney's fees, till the final trial, to be very candid with you. Unless you can direct me toward any liquid counts that I could liquidate, which I didn't see in my perusal of their records.
And may we ask that simply there be a dollar-for-dollar matching of any, I know that Judge Jones used that in a case where there was an argument that nobody had money, and he ordered every dollar that my client paid in attorney's fees. He had to tender the same amount to opposing counsel.
I'm not inclined to do that at this point.
Well,
And then, just for the record, Your Honor, since my client vacated the marital residence is plaintiff's premarital home.
Okay.
Since she's vacated, she hasn't paid any of his bills. So, for the record, as far as continuing to pay community bills, she's not paying his bills.
she should be, Judge, because it's not her money, it's the community's money.
Well, the plaintiff should be looking for a job and should have filed his FDF at the time he filed his motion.
Who's paid the mortgage for? I show that the party separated in April, correct?
Right.
Who paid May and June?
I paid May. I believe June came out of the joint account. And July I paid.
And those, again, are monies that he's borrowed from his family in order to do that.
And so, who are you paying rent to?
I have an apartment.
Yeah, we think that would be unnecessary. If there's a setup room for the baby in the parents' condo, she easily could have saved that expense and lived with them.
Again, Ms. Lubert, I mean, Ms. Cohn's right. I just received financial disclosure form. I'll review it on the return.
Very well.
Make any interim orders on that if we haven't resolved it by that point. Sir, I am going to direct you, since 9/10 of applications nowadays are done online anyway, you do need to continue to do a job search. I'm going to require at least 5 a week if you're not disabled at this point. I need you to whatever applications you do online, I need you to print out, because they have the right to see where you're actually applying. Okay? All right.
To the extent that they can't be printed, can you take a photograph of them and then we can print that out? Because some of them, they don't send you
A screenshot, as it were.
yeah, a screenshot, basically. So that way
As
they'll
long
have
as it's
all the
something by
information.
a printed out from a computer screen, you can't just print the screen, show out. You may not be able to print the complete application.
Right.
Correct.
Enough so that if they decide to go verify that you actually submitted an application and weren't turning down interviews such as that, that's fine.
2 last issues, if I may, because the
2?
residence, yeah, something to quit, though, Judge. Because the residence was his prior to marriage and she's completely vacated it, may my client have an order of exclusive possession of his home?
I don't think
It's in
she's.
his name only. She's tried to enter the home in the past, that's why I asked for it.
She has things there. She does want arrangements made to get your
That's fine.
things.
Do that
But
next.
She hasn't tried to move back in or come in the middle of the night or anything like that. We would also request, we've addressed the fact that he's recorded her for several years.
That's the other thing I need to do. I was going to give them the reciprocal allegations. My intent is to give them a behavior order. You can have the right to videotape if he wants.
Right, but you don't have the right to harass someone and then pick and choose.
Harassment includes. It's included in there. Go ahead and give me a behavior order.
Can we do exchanges in a public location like a McDonald's,
Judge,
something
what's
like
the
that?
necessity of this? He's not a violent guy. You know, she's
It's not a violence order. It's basically a behavior order. And either one of you can have it. You have a cell phone, right? Every time you do an exchange, unfortunately, you're going to have some limited contact with each other, exchanging a child that's 9 months old. Hit record the whole time. Both you can do it at the same time.
It's one thing to do that. It's another thing to walk around like this and
Judge,
say, "Oh, I've got you."
He doesn't
When
do that. He doesn't
You
have
know
to.
what?
When she says over and over again to him, "Please stop recording me. Please stop recording me. Please stop recording my family."
And he has a lawful right to do it. And we cited the statute in the reply.
And can we have?
But Judge, I'm sorry. I asked a simple question and I had never got an answer because
what was
Ms.
the question?
Cohen spoke, and that is, may we have an order of exclusive possession of his
I
premarital
think
home?
they're conceding that. She needs access when you want to go in and get some more stuff or the rest of your stuff. Not say that everything you have, you're done.
Give us a day and time so that we can do that.
Saturday.
Great. What time? Saturday at noon?
Saturday at noon. If you want, is it going to take more than an hour to get stuff out?
Yes, it will take.
It'll just be her clothing and personal property, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
But
I
then
would suggest you at least have a witness if you have any problems. They will only stay for 1 hour, but feel free to dial 311. Metro will come out for a civil.
Mom just
Well, you're
indicated there's larger furniture she wants to remove.
It's just whatever. If there's any contest right now regarding household possessions, it stays in the house. It stays where it's at.
This is from before the time they were married.
If they just simply send me a letter saying these
If
are the
it's
items.
hers, it's hers. If it's his, it's his. If it's contested, we'll deal with it at trial.
Thank you.
All right.
Okay, I said I had two. That was one.
You forgot, so you forego
And
it.
exclusive possession and son of a gun. Oh, no, the judge already said the overnights are temporarily.
Okay.
He's going to keep this order.
Fair enough. Chainsaw locks. Got me.
I apologize.
Ms.
Judge.
Cohen, do you have anything else?
I'm pleased to prepare the order subject to Ms. Cohen's approval.
Yes, I
Yeah.
think that's everything. So just so I understand, what you're saying is if we've got an agreement about furniture, it can go. If there's no agreement, it stays in the house.
Correct. I have to. Right.
All right, and
If you guys want to start working, I mean, as you know, by local rule, we deal with custody and then the financial stuff. I'll let you know what this court ultimately does regarding household furnishings. I have plaintiff prepare the A-B list. I have defendant choose. So if it getting to that point, you might as well start working that part out.
Absolutely.
Okay.
and then just procedurally, since you've chosen the evaluator, do we still need to sign up at FMC or is your department going to contact the evaluator?
They-
Able to take the order down to FMC.
Just need to check in with them.
We still do. Okay.
The sooner you contact them, the better chance we'll get a report and won't need to delay it. For a final procedure, we can set it for 16.2. The return date, we're going to notice you for the 16.2,
Okay.
so we can get that done with as well. Kind of an all.
All right, and then Shelley, we need to avoid. Can we make sure so that we're not having to? Can we please make sure the return date is not during the Jewish holidays because that's right
Absolutely.
exactly 2 months from now. So just.
That's on you guys. You let us know. What's the date, Madam Clerk? 60-day date.
60-day date, I have September 14th at 1:30.
Every year I forget and I have to get one of them moved and it's so.
I'm sorry, September 14th, Madam Clerk?
September 14th at 1:30.
Brief indulgence if I can just check my schedule because I know I've got stuff going on that.
Is that, when is the Jewish holidays, Ms. Cohen?
This year it's like the 28th and 27th
Of September?
28th and 29th I think this year, yeah.
What time is that return?
That's at 1:30?
Unless it gets moved, I'll be in an evidentiary hearing in Department of Q.
Go one more.
Might get moved.
Go one more week after that.
One more week
Well,
would be September
Well,
21st at 11.
Judge, let me do
Okay.
this, because of the financial reasons, if I have to step, if it goes forward, if I have to step out, I'll let Judge Duckworth know, and we'll start a few minutes late. I'd rather keep the 14th.
He gets very angry at times. I don't know.
I'll schmooze him.
So we keep it the 14th or the 21st?
The 14th, please.
1:30.
And, I know what the last issue was. They're making a big argument about wanting this court to order visitation with his child who has a biological mother. Can we put that issue to rest?
I can't.
Thank you.
I know, that's why I didn't say it. I understand that you
It's
don't
in all
have the
their
authority.
pleadings. I
I would
appreciate
hope you do the
court's
best thing for your children, sir, but obviously I don't have any jurisdiction over that.
order. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right, you guys have a good day.
Hold on for your paperwork, counsel.
I apologize.
Judge, defendant was paid for the drug test? Is defendant paid for the drug test? Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Please go over the,
I am going to have him pay for it.
And did you stamp him for the drug
Ms.
test?
Luberts, I am going to have your client pay for the only because I'm having her pay for the subject to reimbursement, but I need him to front the cost of the drug test.
Very well.
Again, subject to reimbursement.
And if he needs to leave the deposit today to do the sample, I'll have him do that and then go back and make the full payment. But he'll at least they'll take a sample with the deposit.
Here's the thing. If they're concerned to this level, his visitation is not going to start until I can affirm with the drug test. So I would hope that he'd coming up sooner than later. We're
So,
clear?
wait. So,
Cohen, you can call my chambers and find that out,
so he
obviously.
has no visitation until the drug test results?
Right. If he pays for it today, they'll
Yeah.
take a credit card. I'll have him no later than noon tomorrow.
Okay, super. And then the court will
And then it'll start immediately.
I appreciate it.
What
Thank you
time
so
does he
much.
have to be there at ATI?
Let's make it 11:30. Right down the street.
He has to be there by 11:30 at ATI.
Thank you, Judge.
Have a good day.